And we're live.
All right. I'd like to call to order the July meeting of the Albany Conservation Commission at 6:03 p.m. on July 5th. Do attendance, Kevin Tilton, chair here.
Kathy Ryan?
Not an alternate. You're full
Member.
And Mike Stewart,
full member.
All right. Do we have anybody on the line? All right. Sean is excused tonight. He has another board meeting, which we can talk about probably under new business as far as schedule or whatever. First thing under new business would be to approve the meeting minutes from May, the May meeting, right?
Yep, May 3rd.
Yes. Yep. Sorry, pull up my notes here on the right phone. Everybody have a chance to review those?
I did.
I think I missed that meeting, didn't I?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think
yes,
so.
you did.
Okay,
Yep.
so I will excuse myself.
Any comments, questions, concerns? All right, all in favor of approving or can I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, see, it's been so long since we've done this, I figured how to do it.
Yeah.
Mike makes a motion,
I'll second.
Court seconds, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Kathy abstains.
Mhm.
All right, oh, the mail. I doubt there's anything good, but. Looks like it's mostly from the land trust. We could have Sean save them some stamps and just bring it with him to the one
Yeah,
meeting or another.
yeah.
Okay, they're going to be performing monitoring of the Albany Town Forest boundaries. This is from the new land steward, Greg Bjork. So I'm sure he'll probably want to reach out to us if he wants us to walk it. I can be available. Court, I know you've done it in the past. I don't know if you've done it all, Mike. Or
No, now, will he be the person to contact as far as adding new trails to the?
probably, I think.
Because we
so,
definitely
yeah.
have to go through a process.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think the land steward takes care of any of their existing lands, and then Abby King does any of their new acquisitions, that type of stuff. So yeah, we can reach out to him when it's time to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's an envelope. May 7th meeting that's already passed for the land trust. Annual report. I think that's all old mail, but we already went over. So. All right. Also under new business, the land trust sent out an email that they're updating their strategic conservation plan. Did everybody get that? I'm trying to remember if that got sent to all members. I know Sean had replied, but now I'm realizing Sean might have replied because he was on it possibly from the land trust side of things. But they're basically kind of doing a master plan probably for the whole valley and all the different conservation entities that they work with, different conservation commissions and other land trusts and stuff. And so they probably want our input and stuff. So I think they want to nominate kind of somebody from each group, could be even two, to attend and everything. I don't know if there was a specific date, but I can forward that email.
Sure.
If that sounds good. But is that anything that anybody in particular is interested in being involved in? Or like I said, it may not just be one of us. It could be
Right.
any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, forward the email.
Out
and
to
then we
me.
can
Yeah,
see what the dates are.
that sounds good.
A lot of those things tend to be like midweek, midday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Is there an agenda? Do you have an agenda?
I only had it on here. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to print any out. Yeah, so I will forward that email and then we can discuss that through email if that sounds good. One other item I had under new business was New Hampshire DOT silt fence.
Yeah.
I went out, I guess that was Memorial Day, and set the missing property corners that had been disturbed
Right.
from plowing and stuff.
Yes.
And I thought 2 had been disturbed right there at the ski jump where they had replaced the culvert. And so one of them definitely did because the culvert's completely moved down the road like 20 feet. The inlet of the culvert did. So we set a new corner, that was fine. The outlet didn't change though, and I actually did find the existing property corner there, and that's basically the corner of the town hall lot. So when I found that, I noticed that there was silt fence in the ditch down there from when they had replaced that culvert, which that happens, but that was like 3 years ago or something. I think that they replaced that culvert, and the silt fence is all the way across the ditch and pretty much on our property, and it's just filling up with sand. And I kind of view it as garbage at this point. It's not serving a functional purpose.
Okay.
So my thought was to just reach out to DOT and see if they could have a crew come in and, with a couple of shovels. I think that's all it's going to take, but I think it's on them to do and not necessarily us, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sure.
makes sense to me.
If everybody's all right, I can write a letter to the district engineer probably, or somebody at the district for DOT, just politely asking them to remove that, if that's makes sense.
Do we have to take a vote on that to
Yeah,
give
sure.
Kevin the authority to do that? Or just
Yeah, no, I think
agreement?
that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you want to make a motion, I'm totally
Yeah,
fine with that.
I'll make a motion that Kevin contacts DOT to request them to take care of that issue.
Okay, okay, go
I'll
ahead.
second it.
All right, all in favor?
I,
All right, unanimous. Court, I voted for you.
he's right.
I don't think it's a major issue. It's just, it's one of those things we've been trying to keep everything clean. And
Yeah,
everything
right, yeah, I never
pile
noticed
of
that,
junk.
yeah.
So, all right. I think that's all I had under new business. Did anybody else have anything under new business you want to bring up? I guess we could talk about the timing of the meetings. Knowing, Sean's always been involved in the Conservation Commission, and we would
Yes.
probably like to keep him involved if
Right.
Yeah.
it seems like if we could accommodate him. Does 6:30 seem like that would work? If that works for Sean, I don't know if the nature of his meetings are he's already on a Zoom thing and all he's got to do is, dial in or whatever.
It's kind of what he said to me, that at 6:30 he would try to call in, so it sounds like,
Yeah.
it's done at 6:30.
Yeah,
So I would accommodate.
Yeah, okay.
personally.
Yeah, for me, I mean, 6 or 6:30. I mean,
It's
probably
an hour
6:30
there.
works better for me. I'm always trying to cram stuff in before I come here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I don't know if I'd want to be here at 7 either. So,
Yeah.
Right.
so if we think 6:30 works, does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to change the time to 6:30.
6:30. All right, we have a second.
And I'll second that.
Second that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous.
Mhm.
All right, any other new business?
Sean had sent out that score sheet, which I just realized I'm trying to download it and I'm pretty low on my, I need to charge this, that from, yeah, it's probably on my phone.
Probably an email I completely forgot about.
Yeah,
I haven't received anything from Sean.
yeah, this was dated, June 28th. Yeah.
Definitely.
And it was just sort of a questionnaire that Usfelt was looking for.
Oh, okay,
about
gotcha.
some various, just input, as a scale of 1 to 5, what was more important for us. I think they were looking for
Yeah.
input.
Yeah, they've got broken down like water resources, ecological integrity, public access and scenic value, and important farmland. And then each one of those has some things related to that.
Right.
So
So I didn't know if that's something we needed to look at tonight, or if it was another day, or how soon he
Is
needed
it time
this.
sensitive?
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
yeah, let me see.
Oh, yeah, so it's a full-on form to fill out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not very long, but just worth
Does it
discussion. Does it say in the email?
It doesn't say a date, it just says please see below for consideration at our next
Yeah.
meeting.
I know we wanted to talk about them.
Yeah. And then on the spreadsheet itself, it doesn't have a date.
Yeah, I didn't see a date on it.
Okay.
I apologize for not getting that on the agenda.
Well, and I had no, I'm out of ink on my printer. It was one of those, oops. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you're gonna think a little bit better this way.
I mean,
Let
yeah,
us know.
if you want, we could review it. Court, I can, if you can't find it or whatever, I can show, we can look at it on my phone.
The score 1 to 5, highest priority 5.
To each resource based on the conservation priorities of your organization and of your community. Multiple resources within each category can receive the same score. All resources could receive a score of 5 if all highly and equally valued. So, gotcha. Yeah, so water resources, ecological integrity, public access and scenic value, and important farmlands are kind of the main categories. My opinion, not for the board or anybody else, is it seems like the public access and scenic value and important farmland would be high priorities for us, at least the way we manage the forest, where we we're using it as a working farm, or a portion of it. Plus the scenic value, of obviously being the gateway there, coming right into town and being able to see Mount Washington, and then having the public access for trails and stuff. That's not to say that the ecological integrity and water resources aren't important in all of the river frontage we have and stuff. But that's kind of my thought. I'm more than willing to hear what anybody else has to say.
So this just has to do with the Useville property, though. Anything to do with them? This is Useville.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think it's what do we see as our priorities when it comes to conservation? And I guess I'm looking at it as what we have for conservation land. What do we see as priorities on our land, which works in hand with the land trust.
Kevin, you want to repeat your what you said about priorities?
Yeah, mine were important farmland
Conservation plans.
and public access and scenic value.
I see. So
Another one.
they're coming up with a larger plan.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It might be part of their master plan.
Yeah,
They're
it's
working
probably
on
part.
too,
Yeah.
That they're looking for some input.
Yeah, certainly. I think there's probably properties that have ecological integrity is the highest because there's
Yep, there it is.
native endangered species, plants or animals or whatever, and we don't necessarily have that on our property.
Right.
But it's not to say it's not important either, obviously.
Right. Right. So I kind of agree with what you're saying, Kevin. It's like, a lot to do with scenic value, public access for sure for us. Managing the land.
And then kind of similar to water resources, they've got it broken down to aquifers, flood storage, wellhead protection areas, and watershed protection.
We were kind of delving into for a while there.
Yeah, and we don't have those directly necessarily on our property, but that being said, we're also in a butter to the Conway Village Fire District production wells. We're within their well radiuses and stuff like that. And there is a water main that crosses our property. So I mean, all of that's important, but like I said, I would view those other two categories as being the higher priorities for us.
What we constantly have for sure.
It
I
says
was going to say aquifer protection. Sorry.
Water resources was the main heading.
Okay.
And then there was aquifers, flood storage, wellhead protection, and watershed protection.
in the email, it says we would like to receive scores by July 15th. Return to either me or Peter Howe.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we should probably fill this out tonight then. Or we could do it, if anybody wants to absorb it, we could maybe, if everybody wanted to put their input in or fill it out, and we could compile scores and send it in by Friday or something, this Friday, unless we just want to do it now.
Seems like we should just fill it out now.
Yeah, let's hash it out.
So the low hanging fruit would be the public access and scenic value and important farmland. If we were looking at public access and scenic value, trail corridors and the designated scenic areas. I guess I'd
You'd
put
rate those high.
I'd rank them high.
So are you gonna put scores in it? I mean, do you?
Yeah, I could write down,
Yeah.
basically on all of these.
it seems like we put our most
So you
effort
can
into those.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, and I could even send it to you for the minutes too, if that's easier. So yeah, trail corridors. Is that something we just want to give them
Fives.
both fives, or?
Mhm.
Yep.
And then under important farmland, it's important agricultural soils and open fields are the two things that they have as sub things on there. Soils and fields.
This is what it looks like. What-
Oh, yeah, I didn't have it on my.
Yeah, because I,
Yeah, I know, I have
It's
it.
almost
I
dead.
know I
You
have
finally got it?
I
Okay,
must have
yeah.
cleaned it off my,
Oh.
thing here.
Yeah, all right. So,
So yeah, do we rank agricultural soils higher than having the open fields, or I guess they kind of tie hand in
They
hand.
kind of tie hand in hand, and they're trying to do it all organic too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, certainly they're making improvements down there.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you can see it now that we've trimmed the bushes.
yeah.
Yeah, looking good.
So, is that something we just want to put five on both of those? Is that,
yeah, and
that
that's
makes
what we've
sense?
been concentrating on
Yeah.
the last few years.
Mhm.
All right. If we jump up to water resources,
Right.
there's four categories:
Right.
aquifers, flood storage, wellhead protection, and watershed protection.
Mhm.
I would rank flood storage low only because we don't have there really is. I mean, there's some flood storage like out there in the fields, but once you cross the town line, we don't even have flood studies, so I don't think there's a whole lot of flood storage along the river there. It's pretty much forested right up to the edge
It's
of it.
floodplain though, isn't it?
It is floodplain, but I think it's probably like barely 100-year floodplain. It's just typically when it's a normal floodplain, you won't get trees that will grow in there and everything because of the flow that goes through. So it's kind of an intermittent type thing. So
Should you put that at a 2?
it's one of those, if you filled it, it would
or 2?
cause issues, but it probably wouldn't cause catastrophic issues.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so Mike's saying 2. Does anybody agree with that? Disagree?
It's our answer.
Mhm.
Rank with the other ones. Aquifers. We know we are above an aquifer
Right,
there. I would say
yes.
that's probably
Really.
pretty important.
Mhm.
Anybody want to stick a number on that?
No, definitely. That, screams out at me.
To me, aquifers and the wellhead protection areas are kind of
There was
Tied
basic
together.
discussion
yeah.
when we were going through the
Yeah.
process
Good
before.
point, yeah.
Those 2 items alone.
I guess I would rank them kind of high, but maybe not as high as the 5 that we gave for the farmland and the scenic value, just because we had elevated those already. Just
Mhm.
four for those.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
And then the other one is watershed protection.
Yeah.
Conserving surrounding and feeding into lakes and rivers. I mean, it's like all of these kind of tie together.
Right, I
It seems-
know, it's
Seems
hard.
like they should be kind of a similar. I mean, they're in the same grouping, but to break them down anymore. Does 4 sound good for that? Does that seem like that's equal with the other ones?
Like you said, they kind of all tie together.
Yes. Why don't you just go with that?
All right. So the last heading is ecological integrity.
Mhm.
And this is broken down into 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First one is highly ranked natural communities. I don't know if we really have any, do we necessarily, on
The only thing apparently that is of significance is there's a couple of plants up in that Bald Hill section.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's almost all the mountain laurels actually on the Tin Mountain property, right?
Well, I've got, here's written down
Which is really
someplace.
beautiful right now.
Yeah, they're like just past peak
Past
now, yeah.
Whoa.
It was two plants, autumn coral root and three bird orchids, and they're both on that Bald Hill property.
Gotcha. All right. So we do have some.
Yeah.
So there is some important stuff there, but it's
Right.
you know, when you compare the size of the whole property, it's a pretty small percentage. of
Yeah.
it. So is that something we want to rank like a 3 maybe?
Because it exists, right?
All right. Wildlife corridors. Mike, that's all you.
I wouldn't say that we really have a corridor. We're kind of surrounded by community. You know,
It's kind of chopped up. It's like
Yeah.
there is conservation stuff, but it's not perfectly linked
right?
together.
Some blocks.
Is that like a 2 maybe?
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
I think I do too, yeah.
Unfragmented forest blocks. Unfragmented by roads or development. I guess kind of maybe in a similar case where it's weird because you got all the stuff
So we're
on
managed by
Bald Hill.
National Forest.
Right. It's like the stuff on Bald Hill is all, but then like you said, it's kind of divided up by private land and you know,
Mhm.
subdivisions and stuff.
They're kind of islands of property.
Right. Right. Maybe a 2 on that one.
Yeah.
Conservation parcel connectivity. Unconserved, undeveloped parcels adjacent to existing conservation land. I guess they could be asking us though too, you know, is this something we would see as a priority, you know? Like, do we, you know, are we looking to improve some of these things? Which with our limited budget.
The only thing they said is that we do share a boundary with Tin Mountain,
Mhm.
but that's about it.
Yeah, Tin Mountain, and we got National Forest up there in Bald Hill.
Right.
And then, yeah, that is about it. Like I said, it's probably another 2 there. It'd be nice to connect some more stuff, but
It was, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
these guys can take this, under consideration, if they want to change it.
all right, we'll call that a 2. Climate resilient and connected network. Most climate resilient landscapes. I don't really know what that means, honestly.
Yeah, modeled by TNC,
Yeah, the Nature Conservancy.
okay.
So resilient and connected network. I guess my take on it would be maybe it's you're conserving land that's gonna help, you know, if you've got something that wasn't forested and now you allowed it to forest, it's gonna, you know, make for cleaner air in the area and, you know, or you're remediating something that wasn't,
Okay,
you know, and is that maybe helping the general climate or something? I mean, I think those are all things we generally maybe think about and agree with, but I wouldn't put that. I don't think we've ever talked about
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's pretty low on our priority list.
Yeah.
That and the carbon storage.
And the carbon storage, yeah. Same type of thing. Like majority of our land is forested, and we're not going to go cut it and suddenly lose carbon storage. But we're not going to. We don't. It's not like we're going to go out and say we're going to let the fields grow up and turn that into forest and make the situation better. So is that like even a 1 maybe on? It's not that it's not important, but it's not.
It's not something we're managing.
Yeah.
In that order.
All right, well, let's go with that. All right, well, that was a fun little task. Yeah, in court, I'll get this, I'll put it right into the spreadsheet. I can just say in the spreadsheet, probably just even just attach it for minutes. So that's easy. All right, well, thanks for bringing that up. I totally forgot that Sean had sent that. I think I had it in mind when
Yeah.
he had
Yeah.
talked about the other land trust stuff there. All right.
I think your battery's on the way out.
yeah, it is. I had no idea it was that low. There we go.
Thank you.
All right, any other new business? We're still in our new business. It's almost 6:30. All right, under old business, Jake Davis lease revision renewal. I was just talking to Court. Jake did reach out to me earlier this week, realizing that he hadn't signed a contract, and I realized we hadn't sent him a contract, and we're still looking for electronic copy.
All
I
right.
still have this paper copy here, and I said I was going to just type it up if we didn't
Right.
find it. I haven't gotten around to that, so I need to make that a priority to just get that done so he can get signed up. But he's aware of it and everything, so
Okay.
that's good. Land trust monitoring report. We just got that mail stating that they're going to be doing that. We also had the note about the airplane club trailer. We decided we'd notify them early in the fall, so I'm thinking about like September 1st, Labor Day. That's probably a good time to
Right.
let them know, to get ready to hack that up. Boundary maintenance plan. I haven't formally done anything with the plan, but like I said, we did get those corners set. So HEB donated some time on that, so that was appreciative. So those are all marked, and the one thing I do want to do is I want to get some fence posts on them because they are near the road, and at least if there's fence posts, they're less likely to get plowed over. But they're all set flush or buried, so hypothetically they should stay there, which would be good. The one that was right there by the trail, by the old campground.
Yeah.
Now I remember why we had left it set up like that high. I was one other guy. We set it. We hit some massive rock, which I didn't remember until we went to go set a new one. It was like they hit that same rock again, so had to yank it out. We got the rebar in, and it was like it wouldn't go any further. And I was like, we're not leaving it set up, so pulled that rebar out. We put in a shorter piece of rebar. And we're able to finally get it in there. So now it's flush. It's got power rocks on it, so it should be fine. But
I can't believe they hit that thing. It's
it's so far off the road
Yeah.
and everything, but you can see it plowing right over it.
Aiming for it.
Yeah. So that's good. So that's out of the way. And we had maybe at the next meeting we could talk about if we want to do any boundary maintenance in the fall. We talked about doing a day with brush out.
Yeah.
Obviously continuing what we did this spring. But like I said, Court and I did that day that you did trail stuff.
I did.
Court and I
replaced the plexiglass.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what it was. Yeah. And Court and I did about a mile of boundary maintenance in 4 hours, so that worked pretty well. So I think if we did that every year, a mile a year,
Mhm.
you get around it pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Up to date. So, expanding the trail map, something we've been talking about as far as getting the NEMBA logo. I haven't followed up on that. And
Yeah.
you had mentioned maybe you would, but I don't think it's been a high priority.
Right, it's probably good they were dragging feet because now that's the motive. Everybody wants to go up and start laying out the second loop.
Oh, they do?
So
Okay, great.
Ooh.
It's kind of sometimes dragging your feet's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Why make a map and all of a sudden now
Oh,
it's
gotta
new.
add something to it.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
good to know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people interested in
Awesome.
going up there and start flagging. So
Yep.
maybe some flags are going to start to appear
Yep.
Mhm.
here or there that we can present to the land trust.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, unless it's going through some sensitive area, which I think there's any sensitive areas back there.
Yeah, not there that I'm aware of, but that's why,
Yep.
let them go through
Yep.
the approval process.
Yep.
For sure.
Sounds good. Yeah, so realistically, that might be something to have them look at this year and then maybe like next spring type of.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. It's good to hear that. Want to go for
Fire
sure.
guys having COVID's over
Over,
and
yeah.
everything, back to normal.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. The only other item we had under old business was our own entrance to the town forest.
Yeah.
Nothing new there, but
No.
in case anybody hears anything or has any thoughts. We don't have any appointments or other business. Anything else anybody wants to discuss?
Awesome.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Our next meeting will be August 2nd, and I guess we're gonna shoot for 6:30, correct? We adjourned at 6:32. Hey, Sean, is that you?
Too late.